People look at stories through different lenses. I have my own personal take on some of these trending issues. Hi, I'm Mariah Ramharack and welcome to In Case You Missed It. Hello, I'm Mariah Ramharack and welcome to a brand new episode of In Case You Missed It on SportsMax.tv. In today's episode, we are pleased to be joined by captain of Terminix, Horquetta Rangers, Jamal Crichton. The Rangers were crowned champions of the 2022 Ascension Tournament earlier this week. Congrats, Jamal. Congrats on winning the 2022 Ascension title. How does it feel?
Thank you. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. We are absolutely delighted with this victory.
Can you imagine that, you won this title, especially because, COVID-19 had so many other plans for us. We didn't have sports. So how does it feel that, that title has been done and dusted? It's one for the books.
Yeah, it's a great feeling. I mean, it was a lot of work. With all the players coming together, the great camaraderie, everybody just working towards the initial goal. I must give credit to the owner of our team, Mr. Richard Ferguson. I mean, he have done a tremendous job in making sure the players were comfortable and happy at all times, and I think that is what led to our performance. I think the players were left with no choice but to leave it all on the field. And I must congratulate the players as well as the head coach, Steve Formula.
Yes, and that is always very, very important. Well, looking back at the season and the points table, what is sure is that, the Rangers had set themselves apart from the rest of the teams very early. What has accounted for the team's success? I know you mentioned the owners and the players, but just when you got out on the field, what contributed to that overall success?
Well, I think that stemmed from since 2019, the synergy in the team. We have been training throughout the past 3 years really hard, and I think everybody learned each other well. And when we reach on the field, it's a matter of just execution. And the players, on any given day, we go out and we just put our best foot forward. And I think that is what contributed to this title here.
Yeah, and Jamal, this one is for you personally. How would you describe the overall season that you had?
I think it was a bittersweet. It had its ups and downs, but for most of all, I think I had a fairly good season. I haven't converted a lot of my chances, but I guess at the end of the day, that's football. You need to move on. I think defensively, I probably did better this season than last season, and I think that was a huge improvement in my game.
Yeah, an improvement is exactly what we strive to achieve. What has been, though, your team's biggest strengths? Because when we heard Terminix, Horquetta Rangers, and whenever we had to predict the matches, everybody already, it would have been silly of us to bet against Terminix, Horquetta Rangers. What has been the strength of this squad?
Well, the first I mentioned is the synergy, because I can't leave out that, because that is part of the team.
Yeah.
And apart from that, one of our main strengths is, the counter, playing on the counter attack. We play a very unique style of football, as we would see these days. A lot of teams play with 4-5-1. We play a general 4-4-2 where everyone attacks and everyone defends. So I think the wing backs played a tremendous part in this title. They work really hard, and that is one of our main strengths. The overlapping down the wings and getting 6 players in the box. That's the initial plan of the team, and we I'm grateful that we was able to execute it throughout the entire tournament.
Yeah, and what's for sure is everybody loves to lead a winning team. So you get the chance now to tell me how has it been, with you as the leader, how was it just leading this group of guys? What was your experience like?
Well, it's really a great feeling to be captain of this caliber of players. I think there's a lot of great players on the team, great personalities, a lot of the difficult part is a lot of contrasting egos, and that's the main part that myself and Mr. Ferguson has to deal with, and I think we deal with it very well. And again, it's a great feeling to be the captain of this team. I didn't imagine being the captain of this team. When I was appointed, I was really grateful.
So I'm going to put you on the spot and I'm going to ask you to name your team's MVP for this season. If you had to single out a player that you felt was amazing this season, who would that be?
Before I give you the player, I would like to just recognize some players that stood out for me. Atula Guerra, Kadeem Corbin, Real Gill, Ross Russell Jr., Devon Morris, Kaim Thomas. It's a lot. I mean, the team played really well throughout the entire season, but to answer your question, that would be without a doubt Kadeem Corbin.
All right. Well, we heard it from the skipper himself. For a moment, I felt as if you were going to call out the entire team.
Oh, yeah.
How has the experience been, though, working under Coach Dave Kwamina, and I hope I'm saying that correctly? How has that experience been? What has Dave been able to teach the team, or of course improve on the skill set that you would have already had?
Yeah, well, Dave usually bring a lot of energy to the team. He usually try to get the players on board with their shooting ability and continue passing the ball a lot. He is a very technical coach to me. He also listens, and that's something that I think is a strong part for him, his listening ability. But not only from the manager, but from his players as well. So I think Dave is a great coach.
Yeah, and when you look back at this season, and I know you still have a match to play, when you look back, which team would you say has been your biggest hurdle to cross, and of course, why?
I'd say I would have to say Police FC.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reason for that is, to me they learned as well, especially in the second round.
Yeah.
When we matched up. I think the coach did his homework. They had a strong midfield, and they were trying to try and defend as much as possible, which is something that you need to do when you're playing against Rangers. You need to be strong defensively. I guess we just overcame that with our strength, which is down the wing, as I said, and 6 men in the box. But I think Mr. Hood, I think he did a great job in doing his homework and coming out prepared for the second round.
Yeah.
It would definitely have to be Police FC.
Yes, definitely. Trinidad and Tobago football has been under scrutiny for some time, and it's not a secret. It has been in the headlines, and of course, not for the right reasons. How important are tournaments like these for the development of football in Trinidad and Tobago?
I think this is a very important tournament to kickstart the tournaments to come in the future. I think Mr. Richard Ferguson have been able to capture the attention of persons locally, regionally, and internationally. And this is a great achievement for Trinidad football on the whole. I think going forward, other stakeholders, could try and invest, and it could end up just as how Terminix Rangers is as present.
Yeah, and there have also been reports of plans for the launch of an Ascension Caribbean Cup tournament, which could feature all the top teams around the Caribbean. Is that something you would look forward to?
Definitely. I am excited to be part of that, and I think it would be a great tournament. Reason being is because everyone was really overwhelmed with the Ascension Tournament and what it was able to do for the not only for the La Horquetta community, but by extension the entire Trinidad as a country. So I think everyone will be looking forward to this, and I think it would be a great tournament.
Yeah, Jamal, and SportsMax, of course, we had the pleasure of broadcasting it, and I know that, a lot of Caribbean countries are tuned into SportsMax. What did that TV coverage do for you as a player and, of course, the entire Ascension Tournament?
Well, that would have worked wonders for, me as a player and by extension the entire Ascension Tournament, because I think, well, for me personally, when I come home, I like to see how I played and, see my game. And when I come home, I could see that now, so I could go back and see what I did wrong, what I did right. We are accustomed having that in Terminix, but I would have, had to wait until the next training session to see that. Now I can come home and see it. I think apart from that, I think the players would be able to gain a lot of exposure out there. It would have a lot of scouts, that wouldn't be able to see what these players are capable of. But thanks to SportsMax, for having us and broadcasting these games.
You're welcome. Well, any plans yet for the next season, or is it too early?
It's never too early. Just to improve my game in general and to continue winning more titles, as much titles as possible, because this is only the first title the team has won as a group. So I am looking forward to more titles.
All right, Jamal. Well, congrats again to Terminix La Horquetta Rangers, and I want to thank you so much for joining us on In Case You Missed It.
My pleasure.
All right, well, folks, that's a wrap for today's episode of In Case You Missed It. Be sure to like, share, and comment. I look forward to hearing your thoughts on this week's episode. Goodbye for now.